I feel like I should put this before the start of the video. I don't want this to come across as like I'm the ultimate booktok defender. There are some problems with booktok that we're gonna get into, but I also think the excessive amounts of videos about booktok ruining reading or how it's like the destruction of literature, I think you guys actually need to shut up and go pick up a book. Like, instead of ranting about booktok, why don't you just read? Anyway, let's get into it. Hello, welcome back to a new video. After like 2 months, oops, I've been busy and I've also had nothing to really yap about until recently. I think the past month I've noticed a skyrocketing amount of videos based around booktok, and not in a good way. It's all about either Colleen Hoover, the smut slash adult romance genre of booktok, you know, fantasy, things like Sarah J. Maas and others. I'm gonna be real, I don't know, because they only ever really talk about Sarah J. Maas in the videos, and basically how number 4, booktok people aren't real readers and how they're ruining reading, right? Those are like the 4 main things that I see people talk about in all of these videos, and all 4 of them I think are annoying. The 20 videos that I see pop up on my YouTube recommended page, I don't even have to click on them to know they're gonna say the same exact thing as everyone else, because you can tell based on the same thumbnail, right, of the same type of creators they're showing, the same sort of titles they're doing, and it's like, I think you people are just miserable. Obviously, right now about to get into the overconsumption side of booktok, which also lives on booktube. Y'all are not safe either. So I don't know where this whole like hierarchy comes from. A lot of critiques are how a lot of popular videos on booktok revolve around hauls, unhauling, you know, a lot of things centered around like doing big Amazon, Barnes & Noble, any bookstore related content, right? And people want to see others buy a bunch of things. That's just natural, I think, on the internet. Restock videos are super popular where people buy unnecessary amounts of like why are you putting your laundry detergent in a clear plastic container? I don't know. But it's also things like buying a bunch of books, buying a bunch of makeup. You know, it's things like that where I think nowadays people are starting to critique more. But the thing is, what I have noticed in the past month, as well as the rise of, you know, all of these like rant video essays about how booktok sucks, I have been seeing a lot of new booktubers sort of coming around. And when I click on their channels, majority of the time, their most popular video is going to be a book haul because people want to see others buy things. I do think the overconsumption happens on both sides of where book content happens. So I think it's weird that people are always bashing on TikTok specifically being the end all be all of overconsumption, when y'all, it lives on Instagram, it lives, oh my god, don't mind my effing nail, that's embarrassing. But anyway, it lives on Instagram, it lives on YouTube. Y'all, any social media, there's overconsumption happening. There's content creators who blow up on each of these platforms where their content is centered around how much they consume. Doesn't matter if it's books or not. And that's unfortunately just the world we live in now, okay? Where people like to see content creators have a lot of things that they can't have. Like, I am a sucker for makeup hauls. I am. I have to watch, when the Sephora sale happened, I think I watched almost every single video I saw in my recommended on what people were buying at Sephora because I was insanely jealous that I didn't buy a single thing, okay? Anyway, moving on. Now, one thing I do think is a valid critique is Colleen Hoover. I do sometimes think people go a little too far where they know they're gonna get a bunch of views, kind of like when they do a book haul, that they just critique every single book Colleen Hoover has ever come out with, and they say the same jokes about these same lines in the book, right? They say the same comments about the problematic issues in Ugly Love and It Ends With Us, but you're still promoting the book to your audience. I don't think people realize that. Like, you doing a reading vlog on that book and how trash it is, it's going to get more people to read said book because they're gonna want to see how bad it actually is. A lot of people consume things that they don't necessarily like. You see it all the time with movies. People like to watch bad movies because they want to make fun of it. So I don't think, like, your YouTube AdSense check probably is looking really good when you do a Colleen Hoover video, but also think of the implications that you said in your own video. Like, hello, making an hour-long video about Colleen Hoover, people are gonna try and read that same book you read. But also, I do think the problem with Colleen Hoover is the fact that she doesn't put trigger warnings in her books, specifically with It Ends With Us, because I have personally read It Ends With Us and there is a major trigger warning for domestic abuse. And in Ugly Love, it's just like, it just depicts a toxic relationship. I've read that one too. I think those are the only 2 I've read. I can't remember. But I know with It Ends With Us, it definitely would have benefited from having a trigger warning, especially when the people promoting it, because I read it around 2020 when everyone was raving about it, right? Before the Colleen Hoover hate train happened. So I was like, you know what? Let me read this book. It seems fun. Everyone talks about the big plot twist. Please, let's not use trigger warnings as plot twist. That's not a plot twist. It's like the same thing with A Little Life, but because there's less romance in that book and it's coming from a more respected author, people are not, saying the same critiques with that book, right? Like everyone talks about how sad it is. You want to know why it's sad? Because it probably has every trigger warning I can even imagine in that book. I've read that one too. And y'all, Jude, one of the main characters in the book, you follow him throughout the entirety of that book pretty much. I think every trigger warning happens to that poor character, okay? That's probably a spoiler, and I'm sorry if you wanted to read the book. I'll probably put a spoiler warning ahead of the time when I just said that. But no one's criticizing Miss Hanya, I forgot her last name, but no one's criticizing that author for how horrible that book is with no trigger warnings at all. No one, when they promote that book or they say how much they love that book and it's their favorite book of all time, none of them ever say that there's an abundance of trigger warnings in that one either. But when they make that Colleen Hoover video, they're gonna say how it's so bad that she didn't include one. A Little Life is 600 pages of bad things happening to this one character, and you're gonna criticize It Ends With Us. I don't know. Obviously, two things can be true at one time, right? Like you can criticize Colleen Hoover and A Little Life can be your favorite book, but two things are the same within those books. Trigger warnings should have been there and they weren't. I don't know. I think Colleen Hoover is an easy person to criticize online, especially because it gets people clicks, it gets people money, it gets people engagement especially. So I can see why a lot of people, criticize her. But when it comes to an everyday person talking about how much they like a book or, they enjoyed reading a Colleen Hoover book, I think we should probably leave them alone, especially if they're not doing anything, wrong. Like if they just say they like the book, okay, that's your opinion. That's good for you. I personally did enjoy It Ends With Us. That probably makes me seem like a bimbo to some people, right? Because I enjoyed a Colleen Hoover book. I'm sorry, right? But sometimes, like I said before, you find fun in cheesiness and things that you may think are bad. First of all, It Ends With Us is a really simple and quick read. So I do think Colleen Hoover has done a good thing by getting a ton of people back into reading. Then they can jump into a different romance author that, I guess has better writing. I don't know. Isn't so simple. I don't know. I don't remember the main critiques people are giving Colleen Hoover, but I think people should just shut up. Now, the only thing I can really say about the fantasy genre, granted, I have not read, I think, a single I think it's romantasy. I think that's what they call it. I haven't read a single one of those. I kind of know I'm not going to enjoy it, so I haven't even tried one, which is probably my own fault, and it's something critique me on, the fact that I'm not even willing to give it a try. But I just feel like I am not going to like it, and a lot of those books tend to be super long. So I can't really elaborate on a lot of the issues people are having with those types of books or the type of readers who enjoy their books. But I think a lot of it is that people just hate when women enjoy things. Honestly, not to go there, but I'm going there. I do think people are so quick to critique and hate on a girl who says she likes romantasy because it's a silly little thing, right? That a lot of girls tend to enjoy. A lot of Sarah J. Maas's fan base is women. So I think people are really inclined to hate on them in the same regard as people are willing to hate on Colleen Hoover fans. But the thing is, when you walk into a Barnes & Noble, they have whole stands dedicated to these authors. People are grabbing those books, and I feel like that's a good thing. Like they're funding these bookstores that could have gone out of business. Y'all, before we went into quarantine in America, Barnes & Nobles around the country were going to go away. Literally, they were about to close so many. My local Barnes & Noble was one of the stores that were going to shut down. And then because of the pandemic, it literally stayed alive. Like I still have it to this day because of what the pandemic did, and people start beginning to read again. Is craziness in my opinion, the fact that it did that. But hey, I'm not gonna complain because I do like to get K-pop albums from there. Not books because they're triple the price from Barnes & Noble. I like to buy my books used. Actually, I very rarely buy books now. But I do like to go to my local library. Like the trend where people were doing, I'm not a Colleen Hoover girl, I'm a blank girl, where it's basically just the most pretentious and annoying people showing what they read, which is literally just Sally Rooney, some Oscar Wilde novel, and maybe one memoir in there, right? You guys are another form of annoying. I'm gonna give you an example, okay, of how I think about those two groups of people, right? When I think of Taylor Swift, or when I think of Swifties, and then when I think of the people who like really hate Taylor Swift and like foam at the mouth when they want to talk about how much they hate her, I think Colleen Hoover haters and Colleen Hoover fans are like that, right? It's the same exact thing. Both of those groups are really annoying. Like, you cannot say a single thing without one of them being annoying. If I happen to say I disliked that Taylor Swift did X, Y, and Z, a Taylor Swift hater is gonna foam at the mouth and be like, oh my God, you hate Taylor Swift too. Never said that. I do enjoy her music. And then when I say I enjoy her music, a Swiftie is gonna foam at the mouth and wanna share like friendship bracelets with me. I wouldn't go that far either. It's like two sides of the same coin. I think you guys need to actually shut up and die. No, but I just think people can be really annoying on the internet, honestly. Because when I think about it, anytime someone in real life has come up to me and we've talked about books and they've said they liked a romantasy novel or a romance book by Colleen, I literally do not give a F. But yeah, that's what I have to say about romantasy. I kind of had to say a lot, low-key. I've surprisingly been talking pretty fast in this video, which normally doesn't happen, and it's kind of all over the place. So I may have to jump in while I'm editing and be like, well, actually, or hello over here. Or I think my final conclusion will be, please shut up about booktok. I'm sick of seeing the abundance of videos. And before people say don't click on them, I'm not clicking on them. I no longer click on these videos because everyone says the same thing. And I think it's just people wanting to seem better than others. Obviously, there's going to be cringy parts of a certain fan base on the internet. Hello? That's normal. Like, there's so many cringy things happening on the internet. Like, sports fans can sometimes be super cringe. Anime fans can sometimes be super cringe. K-pop fans can be cringe. Any side of the internet, any fandom can be cringe, okay? But the excessive amount of videos I see of people criticizing, specifically readers who enjoy romance, shut up! Oh my effing God, shut up, please. Just read your books that you like and you will be fine. Like, here's the thing. I am low-key a hater. I do find things annoying. Like, I'm just sitting here talking, right, about a certain group of people I find annoying. The thing is, I would respect you more if you just didn't say the same points that another video that went viral did. I think that's my big issue. When the first few videos came out of people criticizing booktok, they did have valid critiques. But then, because people saw that those types of videos were doing well from booktubers, they decided to hop on the trend. And it's like, first of all, I don't think of you as highly educated the way I see some other booktubers, so you actually should not be making this video, in my opinion. That's honestly what I thought, but that's because I'm a hater, okay? But I just think that if you're gonna make a video like this, like, please try and find some, different kind of take on it. Even if it's just freaking one. If it's just one, I will take it because I'm gonna be like, damn, I haven't heard that one before. That's pretty good. And then that's all I'm gonna think about the rest of the video. Okay, yeah, you did a good job. And probably a lot of the comments are gonna talk about that one different take that you had, whether they agree or disagree. But if it's just copy and paste the same thing, why do I care? Why do I care? You just want a good YouTube paycheck. And frankly, I'm not gonna give it to you, okay? I'm not gonna give it to you. So that's why I think it's annoying. Because also, some of the people who are making these videos, I feel like they're unintentionally hating their own subscribers. Y'all need to calm down. Y'all need to calm down, seriously. I don't know. I think if you built a type of following where, you are a hater, you do criticize a lot of things, then I think it's okay for you, I guess, to make copy and paste videos. I mean, that's all the internet nowadays, right? I don't know. I think I'm just more defensive when it comes to groups of people that I know are predominantly women. And again, that's probably gonna be something that people hate on too, but it's true. It's like a lot of teen girls already have to get criticized from their peers if they like a certain thing. They don't need random strangers on the internet duetting their TikToks or posting their TikToks online, thinking they're stupid and dumb. In the same regard as like little girls going into Sephora, right? If their guardians want to buy them high-end makeup to start off with, let them be. Honestly, like, you wish you could have started off in Sephora instead of Walgreens. I know you do, because a lot of the times you were using those little kid Justice palettes. Why would you want your child to use those instead of a product that you use on your own face too? Like, that means you know it's good. I don't even know what could have been in those Justice palettes that I was using at age 10, okay? But people are criticized. Also, there's not even Justice anymore. Now I'm doing too much and getting off topic. I just think it's annoying when things that majority women like always seem to get nitpicked on the most. But yeah, that's where I'm at in this video. I'm sure I'm gonna have to jump in as editing me if I forgot to say something or if I want to clarify a certain topic. Basically, I think that's all I had to say for this video. Clearly I had a lot to say, I think. I don't know, it's because I haven't ranted or yapped in 2 months, and this thing has happened this whole past month on the internet, or specifically on YouTube, where it's just been like eye roll after eye roll. So I've had to discuss, okay? I've had to share my side, okay? Even though no one cares, but I care, okay? Anyway, I will see you in my next video. It might be book related, it might not. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Please comment your opinion down below, whether you agree or disagree. I would love to know. Who knows, maybe you're gonna give me a valid point that I haven't heard in one of these videos, because a lot of the times, most of the valid points I see about the critiques on booktok are from the comment section. Y'all, please be making these videos. I think you guys in the comments should actually be making these videos, but anyway, yes, I will see you next time.